Welcome everyone to the Synergy Media Company podcast. I'm your host, Mohammed Abdel-Ghani, and today I'm excited to be joined by Kevin McGrew, the founder and CEO of EverSocial. Kevin has built a unique approach to B2B marketing that combines strategic frameworks with practical implementation. His company helps small and medium-sized businesses modernize their marketing approach through what he calls the spearhead framework. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Awesome, Mohammed. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, Kevin, I want to start by talking about what led you to this point with EverSocial. So, can you walk us through your entrepreneurial journey and what led you to found EverSocial?
Sure. Yeah, it's a unique story. I've always been an entrepreneur, I would say. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've had several startups that I've taken from publishing companies to software services companies. Invented or founded the company called Sherlock Online. It was the world's lost and found. Raised venture capital for that. So I've always been in the business realm and always needing marketing. Marketing's always been a key part of getting any business off the ground. I worked a lot with marketing agencies, marketing companies out there, and I just always felt that I had a lot to contribute to the ideas that were flowing to help the business grow. And kind of about 20 years ago, one of my companies I sold off, and I started EverSocial as a way to help a few small businesses, friends, partners that I had with their launching their businesses. And it quickly grew into a full service agency, about 20 people. And that was in 2011. And we kind of been through growth, different stages of the company. We kind of went right back down to a solopreneur there for several years, where I was outsourcing everything. I was kind of getting into the outsourcing game.
Yeah.
And now we're back where we have a very lean, mean fighting machine team of about 15 people and a group of contractors that we work with globally that support like subject matter experts, about 20 people.
Okay. So, there's a bunch of different stages to that, but ultimately led you to start your own marketing agency, helping other businesses.
Yeah, I kind of grew up, both my parents had businesses. Like I said, I've been a business owner much of my life, and marketing is kind of the fuel that gets leads, gets business, gets money in the door, and so I'm kind of addicted to that, the startup, the growth mode, and helping other businesses do that.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. What would you say are some of, the biggest challenges you faced early on, and how did it really shape your approach to marketing? How did those change your approach?
Yeah, I think like any business really is trying to figure out what the market wants. I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we come up with great ideas and we have these ideas and we try to put a square peg in a round hole. I believe very much that a product, a service should be designed to solve a problem. If you can solve a problem, you have an instant audience. And then it's finding that audience, knowing where they hang out and reaching them where they hang out. That's marketing. And so, yeah, the early challenges was figuring that out. I had great ideas for my products or my services. I had a software business and I thought everybody would want it,
Right.
and so marketing is about understanding what people want and how your product or service solves that problem.
Interesting. So it's what people want and how you communicate that to them. If I heard
Yeah.
that correct.
Yeah, it's right. It's finding the messaging that resonates with that audience. A lot of times we speak as features and benefits, right?
Right.
And we really need to know why people want what we have. Apple does this great. Apple versus Microsoft, the iPad versus the Surface.
Right.
You've seen all the commercials and stuff. And Microsoft's got a lot of money, man. They put in a lot of ads where it's, hey, we have a notepad that it has a keyboard in it. It has a built-in keyboard. It'll do this. It'll write. It'll do all these things.
Yeah.
Apple, that's features and benefits. Apple will show a commercial with the father and his son camping, looking up at the stars, and the son goes, "Hey, Dad, what star is that?" And he'll pull out his iPad and go, "Oh, and he uses the iPad to solve a problem, which is to help his child understand the universe and the star system and solar system. And so, solve problems and you'll have a built-in audience or built-in customer base.
I really like that. I really like that. The way you put that was extremely beneficial. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So, I mentioned earlier during the introduction that you developed this spearhead framework, and I think this framework's amazing, but you developed this framework for B2B, B2C, whatever it may be, marketing. I'm curious about, the problem you were trying to solve when you created that framework.
Yeah, I mean, what I find, like anything, is really everything's made up of pieces, and some have higher priorities than others.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we give equal marquee to everything. It's like going to a movie and you're going to see Star Wars, but they have these other movies there. If they promoted all the movies the same, you'd be confused. What they do is they promote the marquee to bring people. That one's sold out, so I have all these other ones as an option. We have to know what the priorities are. So the spearhead concept that we come up with is kind of our model. It's a full service agency. So the tip of the spear is your website. It's the only place that if you're going to build a home, you want to build it on property that you own. Everywhere else on the digital world is rented property, whether it's social media, whether it's YouTube, whatever it is, you're renting their property and having access to an audience there. The only place that you own is your website. That's where you have control of your messaging, who your audience is, everything. So that's the tip of the spear is your website. Underneath that is traffic. Just having a great website, you are a tree in the forest, is what I like to say. We turn you into a purple tree. And a purple tree is when somebody walks through the forest, they go, "Oh, look, there's a purple tree." You stand out from all the other trees. Right. Even though every tree is different, they all look the same. And so how do you stand out in the market? It's the traffic that you drive to your website. And that is basically SEO and PPC, or organic and paid media, earned media, paid media. And it's like food. The analogy I use is food. Basically, we all have to eat, right? You can either choose to grow your own food, or you can go to the market and buy the food. Growing your food takes time. You got to plant seeds, you got to water it, you got to fertilize it. That's SEO. You have to invest, but the beautiful thing about that, it produces fruit and vegetables year round.
Right.
So you're able to pick from the vine year round all the time, but it takes time to get there. So you can't wait. You're going to have to buy some food until that garden is ready. So that's paid media. So like paid ads on Google, Meta, Pinterest, wherever your audience is, you're going to have to buy space for them to find you. And so we believe in a holistic plan, doing both, to attain your audience. So that's kind of the spearhead approach. And supporting that, you have email, social media marketing, you have AI technologies like chatbots, and then automation. So that spearhead approach is basically what's going to push the spearhead through, is going to be everything I talked about, but you need a good website in order to penetrate your market.
Right. Yeah, I love how it's one after the other. It's one block, and it's building the foundations for that. That's amazing. But I'm curious, right? How do you help companies balance immediate results versus long-term growth? Because, you mentioned that SEO is more of, planting the seeds and waiting for it to grow, but then paid media is really immediate results, and you're getting, traffic coming in immediately. So how do you help companies balance the immediate results with the long-term growth?
Well, like anything, I call it crawl, walk, run. basically
Okay.
is you need a crawl strategy, you need a walk strategy, you're going to run. Nobody can show up to the track and field and just run a race and beat everybody. It's going to take a lot of, you're going to have to crawl first, you're going to have to walk, and you're going to have to then eventually run and then run fast. So what we do is we kind of look at what can you afford right now. You know, if you're a new company, you're obviously not going to be able to put all these aspects that I talked about into play right away.
Right.
So you need to be able to feed the family. You need to be able to get food in the door. So a lot of times you're going to have to do paid advertising to get that immediate um, effect. And once you have some money coming in, we start selling product, we start selling services. Um, we reinvest that. Usually it's about 30 to 40% of what we're earning that you weren't earning before. We like to reinvest into some of those supporting roles like email marketing. Like we could be driving traffic to your website, but if it's like having a hole in the boat. If you're leaking out water all the time, then you're going to sink,
Right.
right? So we want like an email nurturing, a welcome series for people that are signing up for or buying your product or even just signing up for a newsletter. How do we welcome, educate them, and nurture them so that they don't just disappear? They're kind of brought back in, and when they're ready, they'll jump in and buy, right? And so we don't like to waste anything. We try to think through as we're bringing in new leads, how do we get the most from those relationships? We create lead magnets, things that are like could be guides, checklists, how-tos, ebooks, whatever's going to be relevant to your audience, things they want. We hang it out there and go, would you like this? Let's trade. Give me your email and phone number, and we'll give you this really valuable ebook.
Right.
And so we try to get the maximum from the traffic we're generating. It creates revenues. Those revenues, we try to pull out some of the profits and reinvest into marketing. And now we can start planning our garden. We can start doing SEO. And over 18 month to 24 month, realistically, if you're starting out with a small budget, that's what it's going to take to get a full arsenal of ways to get new business. And so we plan that all out at the beginning, but it's like building a house. When you build a house, you might have a basement, but it's not filled. It's not like fully built out, but you want to build in the electricity. You want to build in the plumbing. So when you're ready to put a bathroom down there, you're just building it up and flipping a switch, turning it on. So you got to have the plan for the whole thing, but it's kind of a skeleton until you're ready to invest in it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, for sure. That makes great sense. Um, you mentioned something there. We welcome, educate, and nurture. We want to make sure that as they're coming through the process, every step of the way is hit. So I'm curious about the education part that you mentioned there. How significant do you think education is in terms of, building your business and marketing your business properly? How well do you think education contributes to that?
It's very, very critical.
Hmm.
And in any business, if everybody is in the search for knowledge and understanding, let's say it's a supplement that you have that's going to solve, let's say, diabetes or glucose issues.
Okay.
You want to, if you educate the consumer. So I just found out I've got diabetes, let's say.
Okay.
I'm not an expert at diabetes. I have to like learn about this, right?
Right.
So if you, instead of trying to sell me something, if you educate me on what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, what is happening inside my body, why do I have diabetes or pre-diabetes, right? Hey, your insulin's not producing, or you've kind of worked it out so bad it's like exhausted. It's not able to keep up now with the sugars. And so now all of a sudden your eyes go, oh my gosh, you taught me something. I'm loyal to you as a brand now. It creates immediate loyalty that we can't really get with all the ad dollars that we would have to spend to get that equivalent. You do something for me. It's called the law of reciprocity, right? You do something for me, I kind of want to do something for you, right? If you educate me
Right.
and genuinely give it away, like help me, help you, you're going to be have a loyal customer for life. It's going to take a lot more for me to switch to something else because you were the one that opened my eyes to that knowledge.
So it's crucial in building that initial trust with the prospect or with the customer because it allows them to be, loyal to that brand.
Yeah, I mean, any relationship is what I call
Mhm.
KLT. Yeah, know, like, and trust, basically. KLT, know, like, and trust.
No like and trust.
I'm not going to buy anything from somebody that if all three of those aren't there. I might like you, Mohammed. I
Mhm.
might know you, but if
Mhm.
I don't trust you, I'm not buying from you, right?
Right.
I
Yeah.
might trust you and I might like you, but if I don't know you, I'm not buying from you yet until I know you better,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So it's got to have all three of those. Usually it's a mathematical equation. We know from doing this for a long time, it's about 7 to 12, up to 32 touches. Depends on how much lack of trust there is about your product or service at the beginning.
Right.
So the more lack of trust, skepticism, if I'm a used car salesman, I'm going to need 30 touches before they trust me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If 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 I'm a nutritionist, it might take 7 touches because I've already kind of got an openness to that topic, right? So 7 to 30 touches, we call it 7 to 12. It's a
Okay.
numbers game. So
Right.
if you put in a funnel using what we call the AIDA approach, AIDA, that funnel starts up with awareness, right? So if you're aware of something, you're going to be interested. If you're not aware, you're not going to be interested. So the next level is interest. You'll drop from awareness to interest. Usually we feed you with educational materials at this point, lead magnets, and you go, I'm interested. I'm not interested in what you're selling. I'm interested in the topic of what you offer, right? Now that I'm interested and I get it, I have a desire. When I have a desire, I want to know how you can solve my problem.
Right.
So the desire element is where you kind of say, why work with us? We're small enough to care, but big enough to serve. We are, whatever your unique selling proposition is, we have a team of customer service agents that will white glove your experience with us, versus just buying online and you're stuck to figure it out yourself. Whatever makes you unique, that's what they want to know at the desire level. If you know this, you give them the information, you educate them on what you do, they're going to take action. They're going to buy something from you. But a lot of times we try to go to the bottom of the funnel right away. Hey, you want to buy this? You want to buy this? That's like walking into a bar, walking up to a girl, right? You got to make them aware of you when you walk in the bar. You got to have cologne on. You got to look good. Look at like my shirt. You wear my shirt, you're going to be stand out, right? So now they're aware, right? They're like, oh, who is that guy?
Mhm.
And now you do stuff that you might go on the dance floor. You might go do something that impresses them. Now they're interested, right?
Right.
And now they have a desire to get to know you. So you might walk up next to them and order a drink, and you go, hey, I'm ordering a drink. What would you like? Kind of thing. Now they have a desire. Now they're going to take action.
Right.
That's the way we get to know people. Like, can I sit next to you and let's have a discussion?
Yeah.
Right. But a lot of times we're just coming and going like, let's go on a date. Right. So you got to go through that process. Yeah.
No, that's super interesting and funny analogy. That's that's a funny one, but I
I
think
like using stuff people can relate to, right, and
yeah,
laugh about. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It definitely resonates more when you do it like that. But I really appreciate that. So, you mentioned lead magnets in the interest stage. So, educating them and capturing that information so that you can educate them on some of the problems they may be going through or whatever it may be. But can you walk us through how you structure some of these lead magnets across different stages of that journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea is to know what stage that person is in.
Hmm.
So that's why we use that framework. There's different lead or funnel frameworks that are out there.
Right.
I use IDA because it's been around a long time, and not it's actually it's kind of the old thing that's becoming the new thing. A lot of people are just
Mm,
lost. It was like lost for a while, but
mhm.
it's coming back.
Right.
But IDA is a good framework, AIDA. And
Mhm.
so awareness stage, that's a stage people are in there. I'm I'm unaware and now I'm becoming aware. When I'm aware, I don't want to be told too much too fast. I'll be overwhelmed, right? So you have to go high level, like you're high in the funnel.
Right.
You got to go high level with the information. Is 5 reasons you don't want to buy in today crypto in today's market. Whatever it is. 3 things you should know about owning a Cavapoo before you invest in a new puppy. Whatever it is. Yeah, I want to know what those 3 things are. I'm like, it's very high level, right? And so you're creating that epiphany of, yeah, these 3 things will help me. Now that I know what these 3 things are, I'm interested in more about that. So now you have different levels of lead magnets. It might be a podcast like this, kind of thing. Listen to our podcast on why you should be aware of marketing as a small business, whatever it is, right? I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just telling you about why you need to be interested, right?
Yeah.
And so, or it could be an ebook or a checklist, kind of, here's 25 things you should know as a business owner before you start marketing, kind of thing. And so that's an interest level. And then you have the desire level, is 5 things that you should know before you hire an agency to do your marketing, and why you should look at a company like EverSocial. And so, we're very strategic in approach versus a lot of marketings are very tactical in approach. They try to put you in a box. Oh, you're this. We're going to put PPC. We're going to put SEO. We're going to do this for you.
Yeah.
Versus a strategic approach is kind of like going to the doctor and getting a blood test, and they look at you and they go, this is what you need to get better, kind of thing. Here's the regimen I'm putting a special strategy or roadmap for you, kind of thing. And you choose how you want to, because do you want to do it in-house or do you want to outsource that? That's our approach. And what it happens is we just have a higher success level because we're doing the right thing for you as a customer, right? So that's the desire level. And then action level is call to actions, like schedule an appointment, book a consultation. What is it that I want you to do? I don't want you to buy anything from me online. I want you to meet with one of our consultants or one of our strategists and let us do a free strategy session to know if you're a right fit for us. Because I don't want you to hire me if I'm not a right fit, kind of thing, right? So what's that action you want them to take? And you got to be clear on that. It's almost like a Jedi mind trick. I don't know if you ever saw Star Wars, where he goes, you don't need to check our bags, and they go, oh, we don't need to check their bag. Like, you got to subliminally talk to your audience and say, yeah, went through all this. Now schedule a consultation and let's find out if you really are a good fit. They go, yeah, I should do that. It should be like that, where they go, yeah, I should do that.
Yeah.
And that's a good call to action. It's not about you, it's about them. Remember that. Yeah.
And I think people underestimate the power of just a clear call to action. I think some people just don't really understand that some people really just need to be guided to what you need them to do. So
if you guided them this far, they literally fall into place and go, you're speaking my language. Mm-hmm. You're like, what? Mm-hmm. I was in the late 90s. I was in Russia.
Yeah.
I was in the main square there in Red Square during a big celebration.
Okay.
And somebody goes, hey, Bill, kind of, and like real loud, because there's a lot of noise going on. I kind of looked. Nobody looked over there. I looked because I'm American. I heard somebody screaming in English, like, hey, Bill, come over here. I was like, what? Mm-hmm. But everybody else didn't hear that, in a sense. Mm-hmm. So if you're speaking the language of the person you're trying to reach, they're going to turn their head and go, talking to me? Kind of thing, right? And that's the way you got to look at it as a business owner, is speak your audience's language, and it's a love language. They'll woo right to you.
I see. Yeah, no, that's super interesting. Okay, Kevin, so I'm curious about, moving forward in the marketing space and, some trends and insights about the future of marketing. But what would you say are some unconventional marketing tactics that, you are most excited about right now?
I think it's really looking at where we are struggling as an economy, as a society, and it's really hiring good people. In today's world, I'm talking businesses in general,
Right.
are having difficulty. If it doesn't matter if you're McDonald's or you're a dental office, finding a dental assistant that is willing to work and answer the phones, that's hard, right? At McDonald's, nobody wants to work. They're replacing them with, all this interactiveness, right? And so finding good, solid workers is hard. So where can we help as a marketing agency, our customers? Unconventionally, it's AI right now. Now, AI, I don't like the word AI personally because it means a lot of things. It sounds like a robot. A lot of people don't understand what it is really. But the idea of automation, if you just look at it as automation, just like McDonald's is automating right now, when you pull up to most McDonald's in America today, that voice that comes over the speaker as you pull up in the drive-through is somewhere in Kansas City or somewhere else. They're not even at that local location anymore. That buys time for the person instead of having to be on and paying attention. That person goes, "Hi, would you be using your app today?" Kind of thing. Or it could be even automated. It could be AI. And you say, "No, I'm not going to use it today." And it goes, "Okay, no, I'm going to hand it over to the person inside." Right? Yes, I can still help you. Great. What's your order number? Like the AI can handle that. So anywhere we can automate, we should automate. For most small businesses, I'll give you an example. I have a sod farm. Do you know what sod is?
Like dirt for farming? Is that what it is?
Good guess, but it's actually the grass that's already grown for you. So you have two options. When you want a grass in your yard, you could plant seeds and water it yourself, and the birds will come and eat all your seeds, and you have patches everywhere. Or you can buy a beautifully groomed carpet from a sod farm, right? So they actually go and beautiful commercial grade grass ready for you to buy. And it's a transplant. They cut it, roll it, or stack it and deliver it to your house in a pallet, right? Most people go, "I don't know anything about sod. I just want green grass in my yard. What's the best sod for my house?" Well, we had a sod company, and their biggest problem is their staff was consumed answering the phone with just the same question over and again. "What's the best sod for my yard? How much sod do I need?" Yeah, it was just the common question. So we had side by side with people. We started with AI. Mark, we called him Mark, and Mark was an AI, and he sounds really human. And he goes, "Hi, this is Mark. I'm an AI assistant for Quality Turf. How can I help you today?" "Are you AI?" "Yes, I am AI, but I'm like a human. I can help you." Like you'll hear all these questions, right? Well, I live in Orange County. Do you guys deliver here? Absolutely, we deliver. What's your zip code? And I'll tell you how much it costs to deliver side your house. Okay, Great. Yes, we deliver to your zip code. Would you like to know about St. Augustine or our Quality Turf Plus? "Oh, I want to know about St. Augustine." "Great. St. Augustine's $1.05 a square foot. It comes in 10-foot increments, and we can deliver it by pallet. A pallet costs And how many square feet do you need?" "I don't know if I need 2 pallets. I need 1,400 square feet." "Great. That's actually 2 pallets and a half. But because you're ordering 2 pallets and a half, you actually get free shipping to your house. So it's not going to cost you anything to deliver it from the farm to your house. Is that okay with you?" "Yes, great. Awesome. Can I get your phone number? Is this phone number that you called me on? Can I send you a text where you can click on it and order your sod?" And they go, "Yes, that'd be great." And it sends them a link. They order their sod, and boom, over the next week, their sod shows up at their front door. Somebody rolls it out, and they got new grass. AI is changing the way we do business. They have now. They were struggling. They were impatient with the phone calls they were getting. Like, "Yes, can I help? Can I answer your? You got it? Okay, good. Hang up." Right? People are like, "Gosh, that's rude." But AI can answer 10,000 calls all at once.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And so it can go. It's patient as the day is long. If you want to talk to it for half an hour, it'll talk to you for half an hour. The owner of the sod farm would go, "Get off the phone. You're spending too much time on the phone." Right. So now they got much higher customer satisfaction. We get to see every transcription of every call that Mark does. We got the phone number there. I want to talk to a real person. I want to talk to a real person. I'm mad. I saw that great, we'll get somebody to call you back. We transcribe the phone number there. It knows. That gets urgently sent to one of the people in the office saying, hey, call these guys back, and they could see the whole transcription before they call and know what the call's about, right? So anyways, we're solving problems. I'm using one customer. We're doing this for old folks homes where nurses used to call in the morning to go, Mohammed, are you taking your meds? Now and that's a $35, $40 an hour nurse, basically calling somebody. The AI calls and goes, good morning, Mrs. Smith. How are you this morning? It's a beautiful day outside. It's 70 degrees and sunny, and they're like, oh, wonderful. Half an hour late, they've seen an increase in happiness from their patients because somebody's talking to them, somebody's spending time and answers all their dumb questions, kind of thing, right? Patiently, like, is it going to be snowing this week? Let me check. We have it tied to checking the weather now app, and it'll come back and goes, this week actually it's not going to snow. Do you want us to arrange a nurse to take you outside because it's going to be warm enough, right? Yes. Can you do that? The AI can do that. The AI can go in and flag that they want a nurse to come and take them outside, kind of thing. So things like that AI can do, and it's very low cost compared to human. And a lot of these nurses don't want to call the patients every day. They actually, oh my gosh, I don't want to call Mrs. Smith again because she's going to talk my ear off, kind of thing. Now, I don't want to speak for, customer, I don't want to think anybody's getting bad customer service, but why not solve problems where it is? AI is not for everything, but AI is an innovative, disruptive technology. You just need a Sherpa like us. So if you're going to climb Mount Everest, you don't know anything about AI, you're not going to go to Mount Everest and start climbing without somebody who knows the mountain. You'll die up there, right? You're going to hire a Sherpa. You're going to hire somebody who's very familiar with the mountain and when to hunker down and get in your tents and not freeze to death, right? Mm-hmm. We're your marketing Sherpas to take you where you want to go. We understand this technology and we can help our clients navigate that.
I see. Yeah, no doubt. AI being used as an enhancer versus a replacement, I would say.
A replacement. Yeah, it's not about replacing, it's about solving problems. Exactly.
So what would be your, final advice that you would give to B2B leaders who want to stay ahead of the curve with, the ever, dynamic marketing space that is constantly changing?
I would say my advice to B2B in particular versus a B2C, type environment is really understand your audience, understand their knows, wants, desires, dislikes, know everything about who your buyers are. Mm-hmm. The more you understand them, the more you can create interim solutions that gets your product across the finish line. If you're a PCB board manufacturer, printed circuit boards, and you're manufacturing, the big problem is finding people to actually come in and solder these things and do all this, right? Mm-hmm. Your customer are businesses that need printed circuit boards for their products to function, like Tesla or NASA for their satellites or whatever it is, quality control, all this thing. So you got to know how to speak their language, understand their problem, understand what they want, and say, listen, we have the best quality assurance. None of our soldering gets disconnected. We go through 3 measures. When you put this into your satellite, you know it's going to work forever because you're buying it from us. That's because that's what they care about. Your customer cares about, right? So if you know what your customer cares about, reverse engineer it, tell that story. That's your marketing right there. Now, you could use people like an agency like us to really go through all those steps, make sure everything's done. Your brochures say the same thing. Your online presence says the same thing. You're a thought leader in that space. We help, with all that. But essentially, that just know your audience, know what their problems are, know what their likes are, their desires, their aspirations, and you can help them with that. you got a business that's not going to go away.
Yeah, yeah. Such a crucial piece of advice because it's easy to say that, but really understanding your audience really can prove pivotal for growing your business.
I would say 85% of the businesses we work with, when we come in there as a doctor, they don't know who their audience is. They think they know, but they don't know. They anybody that has a credit card and will buy my product is my audience, is typically the answer I get, right? It's like a bell curve, right? If you're familiar with the bell curve, you want, who's the mean? What's the biggest part of that slice of the bell curve? That's your audience. Everybody else is listening in and they'll buy from you, but that's not who you're speaking to. If you try to speak to everybody, you're going to speak to nobody. If you're a sniper versus a machine gunner, you're going to be on target. You're going to be effective, and so know who your audience is, shoot, move, adapt, and communicate.
That's super, super helpful. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us today, Kevin. So many great insights that so many B2B leaders can take and implement to their businesses and see real impactful changes. So I really appreciate you taking your time today, Kevin.
My pleasure. Yeah, if anybody has questions or just some free advice or insights, reach out to me on LinkedIn, Kevin McGrew.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and anyone who wants to reach out to Kevin, please, I'll put his contact information in the end. But feel free to reach out to him for anything else additionally that you would need. All right, Kevin, I appreciate it. And we'll talk next time.
Sounds great, man. Thanks.
Great. Thanks.